Yes, good afternoon. You're very much welcome to Matters Rising on BCOS television media today with Abashon in Ibadan. And yes, like you know, Matters Rising is about we discussing issues and stories making the rounds across the country and topics, and we bringing in guests, eminent personalities, yes, to discuss about these issues. And of course, here's issues talking about agriculture, the economy, electricity, the power sector rather, energy, petroleum sector, health, academics, security, most especially. And well, we bring people we have been talking about security for quite from some time now. And of course, yes, still talking security issues now. Well, we all remember what happened in the past few weeks. No, let me say weeks, months. Talking about the abductions, where some teachers, a principal, a vice principal, and students and pupils of some schools, 3 schools, were abducted by, yes, like I always have not called them bandits or terrorists, I call them criminals, some evil-minded people, and left them inside the bush. Yes, the local government area abducted them. They were confined in a particular place. Children, young children, 56 days before, well, we had that they were miraculously rescued. We don't really know the pattern of rescue that was made then, because we were hearing all sorts of stories. But well, then we heard that when the rescue mission, came up, it was a tactical and intelligence-based mission. And well, these people, some were neutralized, like we heard. Some were arrested, like we heard. Some other accomplices were reportedly arrested. Yes, 3 accomplices were reportedly arrested and, yes, were tried and have been jailed, life imprisonment. That will be our topic this morning. And yes, life imprisonment for 3 really abductors and accomplices. And remember, 3 teachers, well, like we heard, one was killed on the day of the attack while trying to escape. Another was, butchered brutally while in confinement. And well, we heard that another one again was killed. Well, I don't really know. We don't really know the circumstances surrounding that rescue mission. But yes, everybody, and we too, we are giving kudos to the Oyo State government, to the federal government, to the military personnel and other security, police, and the security of other security agencies. Well, so our topic for today will be talking about the life imprisonment for the 3 abductors, accomplices. And well, I have in the house today, like I said, we will bring eminent personalities to discuss these issues, to delve into the matter. We have Alhaji Lasisi Adetunji, Esquire. Is a war veteran and legal practitioner. Yes, Alhaji, you're welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, not a new face on the program, public affairs analyst Sumbo Badejoko.
Thank you. Good afternoon, our viewers.
Yes, the High Court in Oyo State, let me quickly. It's right here. The High Court in Oyo State, sometimes last week, sentenced 3 accomplices of the abductors involved in the Riri kidnapping case to life imprisonment. The judgment has reignited discussions on the fight against kidnapping, the administration of justice, and the need for stronger deterrent measures against violent crimes. Joining us, like I had earlier introduced, yes, Alhaji Laisi Adetunji and Sumbo Badejoko. Now, from the legal point of view, Alhaji, legal point of view, what is your assessment of the court's decision to sentence the 3 accomplices to life imprisonment?
Well, thank you very much. I think the judge has done his own job as per the court rules. Terrorism Act of 2022 that now survives to the one we have in 2011 and the one amended in 2013 has specifically stated what the punishment carries. I mean, for such an offense, they are accomplished. Even if they are the one that committed the real crime inside, if they are members, and some of them are Darusu member and all the rest, there are sections that guarantee them that if you committed so, there should be punishment for so number of things. And that a particular offense that they charge them with, exactly carries life imprisonment. There's nothing bad about that. After all, people thought that they should go and kill them. No. What did the law prescribe for such an offense is what the judge will judge, and that's what he follows, to give them life imprisonment, especially their own area where they found their gate.
But Alhaji, the 8 that were arrested, the 8 that were said were arrested in the bush while during the rescue attack, yes, the 8, we haven't seen them. No Nigerian has seen them.
Which people?
They said they arrested 8 of them.
They will be in the custody of the DSS. Have you seen the 3 people until they brought them to court? You can't see them. They will not be showing you that these are the 8 people. They are within their DSS who taking care of them.
Okay, taking care. Well, investigations.
Investigation will continue.
Yes, Mr. Abarijoko. Well, I don't know, under the Nigerian law, how significant is the role, of an accomplice in a kidnapping offense? Can an accomplice be held as liable as the principal offenders?
You call them accomplice. And barrister here have already dealt with that. Accomplice cannot get the same measure of punishments as the real offenders. And that's why they cannot get the same. The law recommended different things. It's just like someone committing murder and someone that is conspired with the murderer. No, the conspiracy to murder is not the same thing as murder. And so you do not expect the same punishments for the murderer to be given to the conspirators. So the accomplice now, they only facilitated in one way or the other, play supportive role. And they've given them life imprisonment, which is what the law recommended for them. Now, it is when what is causing the furore is just that people are mistaking these 3 for those who actually did the kidnapping. And they are not the same. These ones were not in the forest. They were somewhere in Suleja, playing supportive role. There were others too that were not picked up in Suleja. Those ones too have not been charged. Investigation are still ongoing, and that's why they've not been arraigned before any court of law. So until the arraignment is done, then we will know what charges are they being arraigned for. Then we can now begin to imagine what the possible outcome will be, whether they get the maximum sentence or not. Look at the Ansaru members, the 2 that were sentenced recently. They too got life imprisonment. For those ones, they are known terrorists. They are not ordinary terrorists. They are commanders, high-ranking officers within the terrorist camp. So those ones getting life sentence is down. That's why the DSS that charged them to court said they are going to appeal that particular sentence because they expected a death penalty. The issue of death penalty is another kettle of fish because we have a lot of people on death row in our prisons that have not been executed. Probably because governors who are supposed to sign the warrants are not doing it. And then they are congesting the prison. And we have a lot of people too who are waiting trial, who have not even been charged at all. They are just remanded there. So you have a congested prison, all of them feeding on the government's money. And the people are serving outright jail terms. Just the last time I did some work around there, around 40% of the inmates that you have in any correctional facilities that we have, only 40% are serving actual jail term. The rest are waiting trial. And why? Because they are busy with political cases and corruption cases. And we don't have any other court again to deal with civil and criminal cases. It's the same court that everybody goes to. And so those ones take priorities because of the attention it will attract, because of the personalities that are usually involved. And so the lawyer and the personality, the caliber of lawyers that take up such cases too, all contributed to those ones having favorable attention by the judiciary, while the other criminal cases not getting attention. And the end product is that we have congested prison. So for the whether a conspirator will get, it's not, you don't expect them to get the same punishment. And so what has happened in court is in line with what the law says.
So Alhaji, like I said, we called it, yes, we said accomplices.
Yeah.
And we concluded that they are not likely to get the kind of, sentence that the real culprits get. Okay, what about this saying that they say, entoba jali, atentora o jauli, oli lawon mejeji.
That is Yoruba balance now.
Yes.
That is Yoruba balance. It's not the law.
So that means they should get the same.
No. You are talking just novice. You are talking as a novice. It's like when you are saying Entogbe Bulaja, somebody who helps somebody to bring down the palm oil from the top of the house. It's just the one that made the thing too busy. It is true. If you don't have the buyer, the seller has nothing to offer or to deliver. So that is the area where Yoruba balance is coming from. That it is because those people are the ones who hated them, who made it possible for them to escape all what they have been doing. That is why Yoruba balance says that. But in terms of law, there is difference between conspiracy and those who are in the act of the incident. Okay? So,
yes, sir. What does this judgment, Mr. Babalora, what does this judgment mean for, the ongoing fight against kidnapping and insecurity in Nigeria?
It's a welcome development. At least we are now getting conviction. Before, there are foreigners. They've escaped through the borders. We could not trace them. That is what we usually hear from the law enforcement. But now we are getting arrests, prosecution, and judgments being given. So it's a welcome development. It's just that more needs to be done because it is the perpetrators that are now still being arrested and prosecuted. Was it in Abuja? About 500 were sentenced within the space of 2 weeks, which is added to these other ones too. So we say it's a welcome development. But these people are not acting alone. You look at them, they are ragtag fellows who are poverty-stricken, carrying weapons that cost millions, coupled with ammunition that costs hundreds of thousands, and they go get regular supplies of these arms and ammunition. Who are those that are supplying them? We've had instances of copters, aircraft supplying them in the forest there.
Yes.
Who are those that owns these aircraft? Who are those organizations or individuals that are responsible for sponsorship? I don't want to believe that the government is not aware. But Nigerians want to see the prosecution of these ones too. You don't have to look at the fact that maybe they are high-profile politicians or they are candidates. You don't have to look at all of that. Because when you say you are not, you don't want people to think you are playing politics with it. You are also playing politics because what you are doing too, indirectly, is politics. When you fail to prosecute certain people because they are politically exposed, then you are also playing politics. And these are things that Nigerians expect from the government now. We want to see high-profile prosecution. These people are not acting alone. A mere look at them shows that these guys do not have that mental capacity to organize crime of this nature. For instance, when the Orire, the first person that these guys demanded to speak with was the governor. Who gave that instruction for them to demand to speak with the governor? From the way they were doing their thing, it was obvious they were not acting alone. And when they would make their demand, they were not asking for money, they were asking for the release of certain people. 2 of them have been sentenced now, the same set of people that were being asked to release, for them to be released. Why that demand? That means there's a connection somewhere. And for those who can add 1 + 1 together to get 2, we'll link it to the United States move against a number 2 commander of ISWAP. That one was killed. And then the Orire happened. Another one in Borno, simultaneously the same day. And they were demanding for the release of people who had the technical knowledge that the same person or same people that were killed had. Meaning they want to replace those ones to continue this act. Then why would we still be struggling with something that started as far back as 2009? This is 2026. That's how many years ago. We are still fighting it 17 years after. Anything that drags long shows that there are powerful people involved, not only local, but also international. When President Trump was bragging the last time, my remark was very simple. I know the US very well. I know they don't go where they do not have interest. That what we want from them is to not provide safe havens for the sponsors. These weapons we don't manufacture in Nigeria. We don't even manufacture in Africa. These weapons that these guys are wielding, they are right there, American products, British products, French products. You can help us if you want by getting those who are bringing it down here and helping the government, or not just supplying superior. We don't want killings anymore. Supply of superior weapon means killing will continue, because as they are supplying the government, they are also supplying the terrorists, so that fighting will continue. And all this brings distraction, and there's no country facing insurgency that will develop. Things will not move at the pace they're supposed to move, and that is what we are dealing with as a country at this moment.
Yes, Alhaji, what legal principles? Yes, legal principles must the prosecution establish? Yes, before securing a conviction against an accomplice.
Okay. Their involvement is exactly, 3 of them. One, Abdulrazak, the party play, Yunusa, and the other time, Samsu. They play different roles, and they were charged according to what their involvement. There are some who involved in training or in using WhatsApp messages that they are having among themselves from the bush to be training those people they will use for subsequent operations. When they begin to kandahar them that oneness of God and oneness of Allah, with it, you are done for. So some of them too, they may be charged with how do they get the ransom being paid, how do they secure it, how do they get it, and through those areas of their connection with the banks and all the rest, they can use that one too to charge them. But these people, exactly, they have their 3 different roles they play. Especially Razaki, the first one, that one is the one that is spreading it among the other boys, like collecting news from the bush and then disseminate it to those people who will be involved. And I think Yunusa too, he is involved in training and all the rest. And the collection of the ransom too, they got them when they were going to exchange their money and then sharing among themselves, the ransom. Those are the things they use in charging them. And through their involvement, that is why they get them involved.
Yeah, so what and what? How do they get this ransom paid? Is it through the banks or through they bring raw cash?
I don't know. Those people brought by cash, they will bring it to their bush. Even if they bring it by cash, they have to bring it out for sharing. I think you know that. Mm-hmm. The one that they want to go through the bank, that is where all this NFIU will come in. They will get them through through the legislation of fraud practice in the bank, through the bank. They use their bank account too to trace them. They will use that one to trace them too, and then they can get them easily like that. So if they send money through the bank, I think they will do it. But really, you don't bring money to the bank nowadays. I think they ask them to be bringing it in cash, in bulk. That is where they used to get it.
Mr. Sumbo, how important is intelligence gathering and interagency collaboration, in tackling organized kidnapping syndicates? How important is it?
It's very important. That is the foundation that every form of insecurity or fight against insecurity lies upon. Intelligence gathering will give you what is called early warning signals. We are suspecting that an attack is likely to take place on Wednesday at a particular location. This they gather. Maybe some people, they overheard people's conversation at nightclub. People who are maybe from their house, from their appearance, from the way they move from one place to another, they've been suspecting their movement, and then they've been under surveillance, tracking their communication. And these are areas where they get intelligence from. And of course, once intelligence is gathered, they are usually forwarded to the appropriate security agencies, who is supposed to respond. Haven't gotten, they also would discuss the intelligence with their own superiors, who would give them, who commission them to go now for operation. Now, when they get the signal, and in Nigeria today, we are not doing badly in the area of intelligence gathering. No. We are not, but we are doing fantastically well. Where we are finding it difficult is response.
Implementation.
You understand? Our response time is still very, very low. For instance, in the US, it's between 3 to 5 minutes.
Yes.
Ditto to the UK and Canada. In South Africa, it's about 15 minutes. But in Nigeria, it's between 24 and 48 hours. That is a lot of time when you are combating crime, because the criminals will not be stationed at the crime scene and wait for you to come and meet them there. You understand? But intelligence will even give you an avenue to prevent that crime from happening. But we react more rather than doing what's preventing the crime, because those who are supposed to act on the intelligence maybe because they want it to happen for personal reasons, will not respond on time. You understand? Because if you want to look at the business side of security, when it occurs, that is when you deploy. And deployment is when you have to spend all the monies that are attached to the security. But when you prevent, you won't be spending much. That's why you see sometimes you see conspiracy between, among the security agents or the agencies. That's why you always see even the body language of some high-ranking officers being that of an accomplice. There was a time it was said that high-ranking military officers have a hand in what is going on. Was it 3 days ago? Somebody was arrested, a serving military officer,
yes,
for selling camouflage, military camouflage
yes,
to terrorists. That young officer, the junior officer that was arrested, would not be acting alone. These are things that only officers, senior officers can handle, because there's no way as a junior officer you are answerable to the command of somebody. So these are areas where we are not doing well, because intelligence is supposed to even reveal the identity of this accomplice, and also they would also be brought in. But if you now have a situation where those that are supposed to act are the real people involved, what do you think they would do? So we are not, we are doing very well intelligence plays a very vital role, and we are not doing badly in the area of intelligence. The GSS is doing a very good job. In fact, they are even being accused of being high-handed, doing over syllabus. That they are going beyond what the law permits them to do. That tells you they have what? Information. But they are not the one to act upon the information. It is the security agencies that are supposed to work in collaboration with them and others, and the police to act upon it. You understand? And the police too, they really need to do better, because more of what we are dealing with in terms of security requires policing efforts.
Yes.
The military, the kind of training they were given, has nothing to do with what we had, but we are forcing them to now be involved. You understand? Military knows how to fight war.
Yes.
They do not know how to deal with domestic violence of this nature. It is the police that are trained, especially the mobile division.
Yes,
but we do not have enough
police
personnel to deal with that. And that is why we are still struggling with these things.
Well, Alhaji, does this life sentence, does it reflect a new, tougher judicial approach to kidnapping cases in Oyo State?
No, it's not peculiar to Oyo State. It's Federal High Court that made the judgment, not Oyo State. It's not because of Oyo State or make it difference for Oyo State. It's still country. There is no difference. The life imprisonment given is what is now prescribed today, except the legislator, except the amendee concerned to read otherwise. That is what it is. But even when we are talking of criminal matters, it's not, when you say you are punishing somebody, you are giving them life imprisonment, or you are giving 30 years or so. Criminal matters, the purpose of avoiding such a thing is not only because of punitive matter. No. It's retribution, deterrence, and to check that if somebody commits an offense, it should not go free. The other one, when we say deterrence, is that to serve for others that people will not do such again. And even if they give them life imprisonment or this thing, what has been committed, that is what has affected the person they killed, it cannot come back. And this is not a place where you are going to say you pay compensation. No, it's not meant for that. Government can do that on their own, but not directly from the person that we say should go to prison or we give him alternative of paying compensation. It's not done. So if they give them life imprisonment, it has served that it's not good. Those people are not fit to be in the middle of this woman. Because there are people you are just looking at them. They are not fit to be. You just look them as human beings. They are not. Inside them, they are born animals. So the better to pick them out and keep them away from society. That is why the law is doing that. That if they take them away for life, they are not going to mix with others. And that is the essence of giving them life imprisonment.
Mr. Sumbo, what role do you think traditional rulers, religious leaders, community associations play in combating kidnapping?
Well, those institutions that you mentioned, over the years, especially the traditional rulers, have been weakened to the extent that they are incapacitated. So what some of them now do is to even conspire with the criminals. Insurgency in Nigeria is linked heavily to illegal mining. And there is no community where mining is taking place, whether legal or illegal, that the community leaders are not involved. They are knowledgeable of the fact that mining goes on. They get their own cut from whatever is the proceed of the mining. And so when criminals disguise into that community, they may not be able to identify them. Then, these are people attached directly to the local governments. Traditional rulers are under the local government. And that's why across the state, what you have is Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters. You understand? So, tell me, in Nigeria today, how many states do you have where the local government is functioning? Just name one. About the only exception you will get is maybe Lagos.
Lagos State.
And I can't think of any other one.
And maybe slightly Ogun State also.
I don't believe you.
Ogun State,
Because there are no evidences to prove that the local government in Ogun is functioning or are functioning the way they ought to function. Now, in your state, for instance, every crime is local. And even intelligence gathering is much more, is more effective locally. Now, when you do not have a government functional at that level, with full capacity, when I say they are not functioning, it's not that they don't exist, they do. But they are not functioning with the full capacity that they ought to be functioning. There are so many of the local government responsibility that has been usurped by the states.
Yes.
Who is handling refuse collection, for instance? It is the state.
Yes.
Who set up the park?
State.
It is the state. These are traditional roles of local government,
yes.
which they no longer, even ACME permits, transport management, they are up till now, despite the fact that the state collects all the rates, is still issued from the local government receipt is what it will bear. That's why you find Lagelu, ACME permits, Ibadan notice, Egbeda, because the state cannot issue ACME permits. The law does not permit that. So these are things that you see. And so many other things like, even under the law, like 5% of the local government allocation is supposed to go to the traditional rulers. Are they getting it?
Yes.
And when they don't get it, how would they be able to organize their traditional council? They are supposed to be meeting at the local government headquarters, the baales, the hubas that are within that local government to bring up issues. Palaces are supposed to be mediation centers. But they do not have they've taken away all these powers. Even taking care of the dead, cemetery. I ask you as a journalist, which new cemetery do you know that has newly been established in Oyo State, as big as it is today?
Yes, maybe some of those private cemeteries.
I know there are private cemeteries. I'm talking about the ones that local government is supposed to give to us.
The one that I know, let me say in quotes, new, Mokola Cemetery, Songo.
And when was that? That has been there since Awolowo days.
In quotes.
So when you see all this, and people die every day, getting where to bury them becomes difficult. And that's why an average compound in the States or all over the Western region itself has become graveyard. You find the father will be buried at the window, the mother will be buried the other side. When somebody, they look for, within the same compound. And that affects the value of the land. Land is meant to be transferred from generation to generation. But when you turn it to graveyard, it becomes underrated. These are problems that we have. And the same thing goes for the issue that we are talking about. When you empower them and you collaborate with them, then they will be able to know, okay, we only have one police station as big as this town is, and it's stated in one corner of the town. We need another one at the other end. When they are empowered, they would be able to get the landowner, your land that is in that place, we want to use it for police station. They will build the thing, hand it over to the police. Even most of the police stations that we have today in communities, that is how they came. It was not the Nigerian police force or the office of the IG or police service commission that built them. You understand? Yeah. And if they are claiming they are doing that, let them come and tell us which one they built by themselves and when was it commissioned. So these are issues that is wrong, and the traditional, for the religious leaders, they too, they have commercialized religion in this country. And the commercialization of religion has distracted heavily what religion is supposed to be giving. You understand? To shape our morals, to ensure we speak to the wrongs in the society. But what do you have? A non-criminal would even be given front seats in churches and in mosques. You understand? Because of what they will get from that person. So moral decadence has become the order of the day. So they too, because of the commercialization, they are no longer playing their role. And the government at large have impoverished the masses to the extent that an average parent is now too busy to take care of their children. So family too, the family value is also being affected because every criminal has its origin in one family. If the parent have not failed, he will not grow up to become a criminal. Do you understand? So everybody has one part or the other that they have played in all these things that we're talking about. And for the traditional rulers, you cannot blame them much. It is the government that decided that they have no place in our constitution, and they've taken away all the traditional roles that they used to play in the past because of colonialism.
They have been sidelined.
Even when colonial government came, they still recognized the traditional rulers.
Yes.
But the military came, sacked all of them, and we have our civilian administration now who have refused to recognize them. And our lawmakers are not even thinking in that direction of incorporating them. They are supposed to be running the local governments. To round up with that.
Yes, Alhaji, beyond arrests, what systemic gaps in intelligence and policing allowed, what do you think how did it allow this syndicate to operate?
How?
Yes, what I mean is, beyond arrest, what systemic gaps in intelligence, yes, allowed intelligence and policing, yes, allowed this syndicate to operate?
No, maybe if they arrest them and they are not tried on time, I think that is where they persist, where people will think that there is nothing that will happen. Those are I think that is where the lapse is. If immediately, like the one they did, just like this example, the one they did, now if this app they have been doing since all these days, people will not be talking. And America too will not be charging you that you don't do anything about it. And you see the way, the response they give to these three. If this is how they are doing it, people will know there will be deterrent. People will not go far to think that there is nothing that happened to them. Like the kidnapping has various stages, various types, local, international, and all the rest. This one here we are talking is international because they have other organizations that join them that assist them. But if there is no consequence, that they will not face any prosecution to the letter like this, I think it will persist. But if there is prosecution as one they have done, even if they begin to give all of them life imprisonment, and we see that they remain in they remain in the prison where they're supposed to be for life, people will not talk. We have separated them from the good people of the country. So I think that is
Can kidnapping be totally eradicated?
It has come to stay. It can only be reduced to minimum. Because when it started within this South-South, it started with South-South, all these where they are doing refinery and all the rest. That time they were kidnapping all the foreigners to get money. But now, the thing has gone circled. You see the local one we have at Ibadan here, the one that happened to the family of the Minister of Power. So it has got stages. And they thought that instead of robbery that has involved a lot of maybe bloodshed or this thing, they know that easily if they kidnap somebody, father is kidnapping the son is now kidnapping the father. And so the thing has taken a new dimension that people are using to get money.
Yes, and so people are kidnapping themselves.
That is what I'm saying. So where do we think that the thing will go away like, but it will be reduced to minimum if there is deterrent for that. There's punishment.
Yes, Mr. Sumbo Badejoko. Now, after the rescue mission, the government and police agency said they will comb that forest. I think it's quite a large forest, very large forest. And I was of the belief that they should not only focus on combing that forest. There are so many forests surrounding your state.
Plenty.
Yes, so many. So what do you feel about this? How do you think government can go about this feat?
When you say comb, it is a one-time event. And after combing, what next?
You go back.
You go back again, you leave it to fallow. The right thing to do is to convert it to economic use.
That is all.
Create economic activity within the forest. The Maasai Park is not as big as those forests that we are talking about. You understand? But you have safari activities, tourists coming to do game hunting and all of that in the place. And they pay money. You understand? They have built chalets in strategic location where those people will lodge. You understand? They allow the wild animals to roam freely. They make road construction within for the tourist vehicles to move around. That is one way to convert it to good use. Now, outside of the park, there are still some farmlands too, which are line value. Those ones can be commercially turned to mechanized farms, because we still need reserves for vegetation purpose, for climate changes concern. We still need to keep those reserves in place. But you cannot just allow it to be value. That is what the government should do. And this idea of pushing it should be national park is under exclusive list. That is nonsense. The land at which the park is standing on belongs to the state. You can request for it, present the proposal, and then it will be given back to you. And then you now, since like the whole Oyo Park borders Kwara, maybe it's only the Oyo State portion which encircle 10 local governments that the state government will look into and see how they can invite investors. You don't need to do this thing by yourself. Just prepare the paperwork, get the necessary approval, and then ask people to come in. Once economic activity comes in there, that is instant security. And you've also created jobs. You've also created direct job for those that will be direct employees of that park or the tourist center. You've also created indirect job of those who will be coming to sell things there. Hotel will now be springing up within the perimeters. That is businesses that will have its own other value chain. But they are not, I don't know why, is it that we don't have people who are thinkers in government? Or we just don't understand. These are not rocket science. It's not even expensive. 2 billion naira will do wonders in that park. You understand what you're saying? But you don't, because it's somewhere there, and they travel, they see parks like that in other countries. You understand? I may not have the accurate figure, but I know what the Kenyan government generates from the Maasai Park annually, or the Kruger Park in South Africa.
Yes.
You understand? They will be in millions of dollars. And we keep complaining that we are impoverished when we can do certain things that would naturally empower the people. But when you have people who are only looking for quick gains, occupying political offices, that is what we have. And criminals will now take advantage of all of that. Look at the J4 forest. Is it Omo Park that they call it? 4 states, 4, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, and Ondo states borders that same forest. The one you see on your way to Ijebu. It is not, you will locate 4 states inside. It's just there. And that's why when kidnapping was rampant, it is that forest that they enter into. But when you just don't create economic activity there, and that's whoever is the mini commissioner for tourism should begin to get ideas, even though this administration is winding down. But the paperwork can still be done between now and May 29. So that's what I feel they should do. Combing the forest is a one-time event. After combing, what next? The thing will still be there.
Alhaji, how can you describe the mindset of those pupils, those students? You know, they have been released, but what do you feel will be their attitude to education?
Not only to education, to life itself. The 56 days they use in that then is not a joke. I'm thinking with their age, even those people who are their teachers, that's a different. But those people who are grown up 2 years and they're going up to use 56 days of their life in that then, it's terrible. And they will be having it in their brain for long. I think sustainability, they should keep them on watch. It's not saying that it's over. It's not over for them because they cannot be relieved of it easily. They need assistance, psychological, and all the rest, health-wise and all the rest. But like the one that we are talking before, something occurred to me. If our orientation of governance is not changed, that all these things we are talking cannot be possible. 4 years they are having. Out of the 4 years, the first year, they be engaging party, welcoming new party that they have won. They use only 2 years to serve the country. The last year, they are now on campaign. Look now, everything has stopped now. Everything that you can talk of governance has stopped. Don't deceive yourself. Even if they are doing any road now, they've suspended it. They are now facing 2027 out of 4 years. So comping the forest, preparing this is not in their mind. We need to change the orientation of our governance. Otherwise, all this thing is just paperwork for them, because their thinking is, how do we come to that power again, and then we assume what we used to do. Business as usual.
Like you said, like you rightly said, when the president said he will employ 1,000 forest guards, we haven't heard about any forest guards.
It has no time for that now. There's no time for that now. What they are now facing in 2027 all over, everybody now.
Yes, Mr. Zubo, what do you think the media roles, what role the media has to play in preventing or checking kidnapping, in the society as a whole?
Well, I think a journalist, one of your colleagues, did a report about that old Oyo Park sometimes. I want to see in the next 1 month or 2, full documentary. That should be done in conjunction with the Nigerian Institution for Surveyors. You understand? Ministry of Tourism, on how, and you do a comparison. It's not going to be something, it may involve traveling, maybe taking a tour of the Maasai Park and the Kruger, and coming to see, making comparison, and using the experience of what they see, the sightseeing in Kruger, to come and give an idea of how that place can be set up. You understand? So that once economic activity is going on, there are some other parks that are more or less not functioning, like Yankari, like Borgu. Borgu borders this Odoyo National Park, that are not functioning. How those places can be revived, so that when economic activities are going on, that is instant security without weapon. You understand? But when they are just there, nobody is, for instance, if a place is bubbling, and all of a sudden, people that are there to make it bubble started leaving one after the other, new people are not coming in. Before you know what is happening, those who will be the last set will be leaving, not because they wish to leave, but because they are alone. And that is how those places have become what? Emptied. They need to repopulate the place. They need to make rural life. You understand? And that's why when I keep frowning at this government policy on agriculture that you are not doing the right thing. You understand? The policy is like wanting to start education from the university. What about primary and secondary? So that is what they have decided to do, and they have wasted 5 years achieving nothing. They should do the right thing. You want to do agro-business, where are the raw produce? You need to encourage cultivation before you can be talking about value addition. What are they adding the value to? So use those places, plants in them, put mechanized farming. Oyo is big enough. You can imagine a state as big as a country like Rwanda, if not bigger. Oyo State is bigger than Luxembourg. It's bigger than Belgium as a country. So when you see all these things, or just one state, and you now begin to happen, why is Netherlands having more cattle than Nigeria as a country, when the state is not as, a country is not as big as even some states, Niger State in Nigeria, for instance. So it's because we have left so many things undone. It is not road construction alone that government can exist to do. They focus on that because that's where they steal money. They inflate the contract, they do all manner of variation and all manner of things to get. You understand? But in those areas, agriculture, they are forgetting that when you invest in agriculture, you are indirectly alleviating the suffering of your people, because food is damn too expensive in this country. And it is expensive because it is not enough. We are not growing enough to feed our population. And because of the absence of surplus, there is what? Increase in price. People are scrambling for it. You understand? When you do that, or create that ecosystem in Okiogun area that would push back population. There are people that like rural setting. You understand? For instance, Barrister is an elderly person. Elderly people don't like hustle and bustle of life. They've seen it when they were young.
Yeah.
They prefer to stay in environments where there will be serenity. They will go to those areas and settle down. They will be doing their thing there. You understand? And people that are their children will be coming to visit. They will be and the place will be bubbling. That is how to do things. But you know, in Nigeria, we just have them occupy space. They will just be busy playing. Imagine government wants to be running political parties at the same time. Is that the way the Awolowos of this world did it? So these are issues that we have that is affecting us, and we are talking about insecurity today. If you pick education, you will have stories to tell. You understand? If you pick health, it is the same thing. I have dabbled into agriculture to prove to you that government is just not working in every sector. It is only in road construction. When you say road construction, my streets deserve to be tarred. That is local government function. Local government has been incapacitated. So these are things that are wrong. A lot is wrong. And these are things that can create natural security without weapons. Because you cannot allow everybody in the name of insecurity to be carrying weapons up and down.
Yes, I want to thank you very much, Alaji Lasisiadis Esquire, yes, the legal faction and war veteran. Yes, I want to thank you for coming on the program.
Thanks.
And of course, Mr. Sumbo Badijoko is a public affairs analyst, and you are welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Yes, and of course, yes, we have been talking about the life imprisonment, meted out for the Adeoto's accomplices. And well, we talked, yes, we delved really into that issue, and my two guests made it known that, well, according to the Constitution, that is the limit of, an accomplice that have been captured, by the security agencies and taken to court for prosecution. And yes, I want to thank my two guests for the program, for coming on the program this afternoon, and next week we'll come your way again with another edition of Matters Arising. And of course, I want to, thank my producer, Yemi Alau, assistant producer, Mutiu Ogunwale, supervising producer, Binu Yedemi, and my executive producer, Dotun Elaiton. Next week is another week. You'll join us again next week, Tuesday, on Matters Arising. Bimbo Akobi is my name. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.